Hi guys, welcome to the F1 Debate Show. My name is Elsie,
My name is JT.
and welcome to this episode, which is Formula One explained for the people who aren't diehard fans and don't know too much about the sport. And now Formula One's a fantastic sport to get behind, but maybe you watched part of last season and the first two races of this season, maybe, but you want to think, I don't really understand it too much. Formula One is the pinnacle of motorsport. Now you have all these different varieties of racing, but Formula One is where everyone wants to be. It's where all the drivers and all the teams want to be. It's the highlight. It's the top. It's like the Premier League in football, if you like. Now Formula One's been going for absolutely ages, even the days of before televisions and things like that. But it only started being televised in 1950. So obviously since then, Formula One was had world champions, it had recorded races and things like that. And it started going on TV around live and things like that around the early 1980s, things like that. The CEO of Formula One is Bernie Ecclestone, a British tycoon, so you might have heard his name dotted about. And then obviously Formula One has races all around the world. They have teams all around the world, and it's very much a global sport. To think that maybe, for example, like American football, NASCAR, and basketball is an American sport, and it's normally associated with the United States of America and countries around that, like Canada and Southern America. So Formula One is very much a global sport, and they have races all around the world. This year is actually the longest season as we go all around the world. We have races in Asia, in Australia, we have in Europe, South and North America as continents. It really goes all around the world and attracts a lot of fans from a lot of countries, as well as money, sponsorship, and everything like that. This is just a bit of a heads up about it. So now I'm going to head over to JT in a race weekend. Now it's like different to football. It's not just one event that happens in a Formula One weekend. So he's going to go into a bit of the information about what happens, because you might be watching and thinking, when there's on the Friday, you might be thinking, well, the race is supposed to be the last result. How come there's an event on the Friday and then for the next 2 days? So JT's going to mention what happens in a Formula One weekend.
Yeah, hi guys. Thank you for the comments. On a race weekend, you basically 3 days. It's a 3-day event. You have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now on Friday, you have 2 sessions. Each session lasts for about 1 hour 30 minutes. It's called free practice. You have free practice 1 and free practice 2. Now on each of them practice sessions, you can test whatever you want on the car, basically to learn the track, to get the driver to learn the adjustments of the car, for the teams and engineers to understand how the car will react in a race condition, so they can probably learn about the track, put new parts on throughout the course of the season. Roughly about 4 or 5 races in, that's when you'll see new upgrades on the car to make cars faster, better, more performance, and to maybe make the tyres last more. So you have them 2 on a Friday, so we can do whatever you want. On the Saturday, you have another 2 sessions, but you have practice 3 on the morning, which lasts only for an hour. And again, that's just the same as practice 1 and 2, except you only have, as I said, an hour to get as much time as you can. Then you have about a 4-hour, roughly about 3 to 4 hour break until you have qualifying. Now, qualifying is a massive vital point of the race weekend. It determines who's going to start on the grid for the race. Now, qualifying has been a massive issue lately, and we were going in massive detail about qualifying, but it is kind of complicated. But luckily for the Chinese Grand Prix, which is happening right now at time of recording, it's happening this weekend. So at the Chinese Grand Prix, it'll revert to the old qualifying, where basically you have 3 qualifying sessions: Q1, Q2, Q3. In Q1, you have all 22 drivers, putting in times. I think that it's the bottom 7 get knocked out. The bottom 7 slowest times will get knocked out. That's then gone. They're not in Q2. In Q2, you have the remaining drivers. Obviously, you don't have them 7 anymore. You have less cars out on track, which is good in a way, because you have more track space, you have more time and more space to get faster times and improve your car. So again, in Q2, I think it's from 10th to about 15th. I think 15th, 16th. All them cars again we get eliminated. Them slowest times gone once the time session is up. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention that. I think Q1 lasts about 18 minutes. Q2 lasts about 15 minutes, and Q3 lasts about 12 minutes. That's what it was last season. Whether it will be this season, I think it probably will be. So that's the times of qualifying. So Q1, 80 minutes are gone. Those drivers are gone. Q2, those drivers are gone, as like I said, from 10 to 15. In Q3, there's 10 drivers left. Now you have 12 minutes basically to get as high as you possibly can from the grid. This is really a good place to be, especially if you're a lower team, because in the points, only top 10 can score. So I mean, if you start in the top 10, you've got a better chance of finishing points than you have in a car finishing in Q1 and Q2. So the fastest time gets pole position. Now this is where the driver starts in the front of the grid and the best chance of winning. Again, you have P2, P3, and so forth. And obviously, fastest time at the top, and then each time to work your way down into qualifying, and then that will determine the top 10. I would say top 10, but top 22 of the grid, which you'll see on the race, which is a Sunday. Now, obviously, this is the main event. This is your Premier League game. This is your cricket county championship, whatever you want to call it. This is your pivotal moment of the weekend, and each circuit has different laps. Like you might have one circuit might have 57 laps. Spa, which is the longest on the calendar, that's about 43 laps around that time. Then you have Brazil, which is the shortest on the calendar. Then there you have about 71 laps. So it really depends on how big the circuit is. So they have each, obviously that's 71 laps to try and do as best as they possibly can. The top 10 score points, obviously first being 25, bottom being 1. We'll talk about the points more in another episode. But also, the top 10 are obviously each driver must be equipped with at least one compound on the hard tyres, one compound on the soft tyres to make everything a little bit more competitive throughout a race weekend, which we will talk about more to go more in depth. We're just talking about the basics so far. And obviously, the top 3 go on the podium. So if your race winner gets a trophy, second place gets a trophy, third place gets a trophy, and then the winning constructor, which is like your Ferrari, your Mercedes, will also get a trophy. And obviously they'll throw champagne, celebrate like traditional way, get interviews, go off, everyone will pack up and move on to the next race weekend. Elsie?
Yeah, thank you, JC. That was fantastic. Hopefully people out there understand a bit more about the race weekend. Now, obviously Formula 1 is a bit like a football season, a bit like seasons in other sports, are from around March to November, and sometimes in early December as well. So they have a break, and so do we as well. Formula 1 weekend is normally around 2 weeks' time. Sometimes we have back-to-back races where it'll be in one weekend, and obviously your 5-day weekday, and then a race weekend after that. And they're all around the world, and it's a great circus. Formula 1's a big circus that always is moving to different countries and all that. Yeah. Anyway, so that's episode 1, and I hope you get more about it. And obviously, again, I hope you keep in touch with our F1 debate show as we progress in these videos, and also in our F1 debate shows about different races that are coming up as well. So yeah, I hope you can join us there. So thanks for watching this episode, guys, and I will see you in the F1 debate show Chinese Grand Prix preview later this week. Thank you.
Thank you very much,